The reason we're here is because on March 2nd, 1825, during his grand tour of the United States, from August 16 to 1824 to September 7, 1825, Lafayette toured the entire country. He was the nation's guest. He was the friend of George Washington, able to keep people together and create a sense of unity in a very divided nation, polarized by a presidential election, polarized by political division, obviously. And he was this unifying figure that was able to keep the nation together and make sure that the country would transition away from the founding era all the way through the 1830s as one country. So it's a big legacy. Here in Raleigh, Lafayette was received at a building known as the Government House. So the Government House is a good old name for the house of the governor, the governor's residence. Right here in Raleigh, the Government House used to be right here across the street. And how do we do that? How do we know that? I'm sorry. We know that because with historical maps at that time, we know that the building was located at the foot of Fayetteville Street, which is right here. And I was able to determine with a map of Raleigh in the 1850s that the building up until the 1850s was located right across the street over here, corner of what's now South and Wilmington. So obviously the location of Shaw was a wonderful opportunity because it's right across the street.
We want to thank you for coming together with us to celebrate what I think is a momentous day. You're here to help us recognize the combined shared legacy of abolition, of freedom, of intellectual curiosity, of history, of the ways in which we can remember what is a part of our past that we should be celebrating. That we had the market house, the government house across the street. We have what wasn't Shaw University but became Shaw University here is represented by this marker. Connection here with our Center for Racial and Social Justice as we in the 21st century continue to promote ideas around freedom and equity. We can look back to our past and have a physical reminder in this marker to Lafayette's tour of the United States that it's possible for a single person to affect change. That's what we learned from General Lafayette. And that is why his footprint is found all through the southern United States and in the places that he visited.
In June of this year, Shaw University created the Center for Racial and Social Justice. And that center was created out of a need to reclaim our roots as part of the fight for social justice in the United States. And so having the marker installed at this time is just, I think, very, 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 significant and appropriate. When you think about Lafayette's final tour of the United States, 40 years later, Shaw University was founded.
I am now off to Chapel Hill, home to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. There I will meet with Dr. Harry Watson. Professor Watson teaches early American history there at UNC. And I'm gonna go incognito for this one. I want to see what it's like to be a Tar Heel for a little bit. I think I'll fit right in. Students from Chapel Hill went to see him.
I didn't know that.
In Raleigh, and it is actually documented. So I have a question for you. Why?
Sure.
Why did they go there? Do you think the place was not as pretty as it is today?
Well,
Back then, or do you think they just they were craving to see Lafayette? Or maybe both?
I think the students went from Chapel Hill to Raleigh to see Lafayette because he was a great man. And they wanted to see a survivor of the American Revolution, a a voice from their grandfather's generation about hope for the future of the country. And he was a celebrity, so why not? There was a gigantic fight in Congress about the future of slavery in the United States. Lafayette arrived in the aftermath of that controversy in 1824, and Americans turned to him for a stabilizing presence. He certainly symbolized a feeling of unity and peacemaking, if you will, that was welcome.